If you guys been keeping up, you've probably heard me say some of this before. Here's a little video you can watch.
9 of 10 of the biggest films in history have creatures.
Not real people.
Right.
In addition to real people, creatures.
Jaws.
Yeah.
E.T.
Oh, yes.
Well, Independence Day now. You have 2 out of Independence Day, Man in Black.
Alien propaganda.
You know, but the films have creatures.
So do you believe in government conspiracies?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I'm serious.
No, definitely. No, oh my God.
I read that you felt.
Before we get to that, let's see if I can pause it. I guess I can't pause it. Yeah. What have I said about the JFK assassination and the Warren Commission? Our masters drummed up some social engineering buzzwords, some phrases, some jargon for idiots to repeat. Conspiracy theorists, conspiracy theory. It was rebranded. It was drugged through the mud. It was hijacked. It was weaponized, verbally speaking. And people still use it because it was dressed up to defame anybody who spoke out against the Warren Commission. Anybody who had a lick of sense between their ears and chose to call upon it. Yeah? And here's Will Smith backing that shit up. Oh yeah, I believe in conspiracy theories.
Jaws.
Yeah.
E.T.
Oh, yes.
Independence Day now. You have 2 out of Independence Day, Man in Black.
Yeah.
You know, but the films have creatures.
So do you believe in government conspiracies?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I'm serious.
No, definitely. No, oh my God.
I read that you felt that the government was deliberately spraying cold germs in subways, was deliberately trying to make people ill with the AIDS virus. This is pretty serious stuff. Do you really feel that?
Well, that's a good question. Oh, I'm with Barbara Walters now. Oh, that's a serious one. Okay, so I got it now because people are going to chase me after this. People are going to chase me.
This guy's fucking straight as a circle.
I believe that it is quite highly possible that the AIDS virus is a result of genetic warfare testing.
By American agents?
Absolutely.
Well,
Am I a conspiracy theorist? I'm a conspiracy theorist, aren't I? Gosh darn. I didn't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I wanted to be regular.
Well,
Not.
You notice how he repeated it numerous times so that whoever saw this would buy into it and they would accept it and it would be normalized for an entire generation all over again. That's how this shit works. And that's just part of how this works. It's funny. It's late. I'm tired. I'm really just fed up with trying to find people who are thinking about things on their own, willing to see shit for what it fucking is, instead of having to have somebody else spell it out for them. 8,000 fucking people, pushing 9,000, have clicked like on this because they're stupid. They are fucking stupid. I realize that sounds mean, but if you consider there's Will Smith and there's Barbara Walters, neither of them work for you and I. Neither of them are in place for the people, by the people. These are puppets. So anybody using the brain between their ears wouldn't support this. They wouldn't post this. They wouldn't buy into this. I forget how the expression goes, but anytime their mouths open, it's all lies. It's all fucking garbage. Either way, most of you probably tuned out because you saw the video and you probably liked it. So he said, incorrect, Will Smith is a Zionist puppet and will be until the day he dies because he signed a contract. And I typed this out too, or I barked at my phone rather. I said, people are, let's see. Maybe it should say, if people were paying attention. Pardon me for barking at the phone and it being late and me being lazy. So if people were paying attention, actors are always acting. All the scripts they memorize aren't necessarily related to television and movies. In other words, somebody most likely told him the points that they would like him to discuss in this interview. Because he has handlers. He's also not terribly bright, so quite highly, da-da-da-da-da. Then again, maybe he's on the spot, maybe he was nervous. You never know. You never know. But back to point. And again, I'm not the sharpest fucking fill in the blank, in the box necessarily, but yeah. Just for what it's worth, I'm human too. We all fuck shit up, but he's a Zionist puppet. There's a difference between he and I. A big one. Sometimes they're tasked with talking about a little bit of something that reflects reality. And then it says, and usually when this takes place, they also tell you a whole bunch of garbage that doesn't reflect reality. And it should say is flat out propaganda. So what do we hear in the beginning? First you hear aliens, then you hear fucking conspiracy theory horseshit reaffirming a bullshit narrative that also promotes wasting your time and energy chasing rabbit holes. In case you're new here, you've never heard me doing what I'm doing right now, and or you're just fucking stupid, what people think of as you're asleep. You're daydreaming, you're walking through life. Essentially with your head up your ass is usually how I refer to it. Because the asleep stuff has to do with wake up. And when you reverse wake up, it just means fuck you because our masters are laughing at us and people bought into that and they repeat that too. It's a joke. And the kids who repeat it are the fucking punchline. But so am I because we're guilty by association. Back to point. I'll just get back to point. Let me see if I can figure out where I was at. So it's flat out propaganda. To appreciate what I said today, you would have to have eyes to see. Most people don't have a clue what's going on. They don't know what reflects reality. For the most part, they are the problem and they don't realize it. What do I mean by that? Can any of you analyze and interpret and figure out what I'm driving at? A lot of words are coming out of my mouth. These days, people just leave emojis online, our master's emojis. Do you know what I'm talking about? It said 9,000 people clicked the little heart thing on here. They're part of the problem. They're circulating the fucking propaganda. Look at how many people shared this. Still under 6,000, but 5,000 people circulated 2 fucking puppets. And this bullshit. I'm not saying that our masters aren't trying to make people sick. I'm not saying that our masters have not cooked up a bunch of man-made fucking creepy crap. They have. They still are. I don't disagree with some of that. That's some of the lesser magic being disseminated by a fucking Zionist puppet. A celebrity puppet, in case you're, can't believe he said that. Is Hollywood disproportionately full of fucking people of Jewish descent? Yes or no? If it's a yes, Will Smith works for them, which is why I just said he's a Zionist puppet. It's not anti-Semitic. It's not me being a bigot. It's not any of that other shit. It's what fucking reflects reality. Think about it. No, really, think about it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look into it. Take a drink when you watch a movie. Every single fucking time somebody pops up of Jewish descent in a fucking movie, even though in some ways they're dressed up as a minority who's, oppressed. What do you think the odds are of all the casting agents casting them in movies? Let alone having them be behind the camera as well in numerous ways. Behind the production of the fucking movies. I mean, it's not just actors, and it's not just directors, and it's not just producers. It's disproportionate, as I just stated. But that doesn't come up. You got a lot of kids who will cry about, discrimination and affirmative action and da-da-da-da. Why are there so many people of Jewish descent in Hollywood pulling the strings of other puppets? Why doesn't that come up? Because you don't want to talk out of school. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to do the right thing. You don't want to fucking call fill in the blank. Because it is what it is. It's what you see. It's what tracks. But you're not allowed to talk about that because that's not socially acceptable. And most people are just a bunch of soggy, wet fucking pussies, and they're not going to say the right thing. They're not willing to do the right thing. But then again, most of them are very, very dumb, as I've already pointed out, and more than willing to circulate the fucking propaganda mill, and they're stirring the pot. Back to point, I guess you can consider that tangent cam. And you're welcome. I mean, if you look into it, I'm right, but most people won't. I said, here's another thought. Wait, did I already skip over this part, though? They don't know what reflects reality. It's the same old song and dance me complaining about fucking Muppets. And then I said, here's another thought. You and I were trained to carry cell phones around. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? So you can call your parents and your friends and you can order pizza? Do you think that's really why we were trained to carry cell phones? I want you to think about that if you never have. We're posting comments and or viewing media in case people are like, I'm not posting comments. I'm not even on there. I don't have Instagram. In case you're one of those kids. We're posting comments and or viewing media, which has been rebranded content on social media. Most people do that these days. Not everybody. I'm well aware of that. Most of them, including myself, have bought into this and utilized this fucking digital medium. Yeah, would you agree? So, why do you think social media is free? And I want you to think about that. Why are these social engineering platforms free? There's so much crap on these social media, platforms for you to spend hours of your life on. I mean, just time and energy spent, past tense. What do you get out of it? Why do you think this is free? Here's another one. Think of the cell phone shit that I already rattled off and think of social media platforms, which I just rattled off. All of this is connected to the DARPA internet, and you and I only have access to a fraction of it. You don't hear people bring up DARPA anymore, for the most part. And you sure as shit don't hear people bring up DARPA in terms of the goddamn World Wide Web, otherwise known as the internet. What does DARPA do? If you don't know, look it up. It is not in place to benefit you and I. So why would we be granted access to something that came out of that project? Keep in mind, that's an umbrella project. There are so many fucked up things coming out of DARPA. DARPA shouldn't exist, and it wouldn't. If, just say this small percentage of people that interacted with this shit were good people and they didn't do this, and they were willing to do the right fucking thing, and that caught on like wildfire, DARPA wouldn't have ever had any traction whatsoever. Now, this is when some of you might cry yourselves to sleep. Well, then we would never be doing this, and then we wouldn't have the internet, and we wouldn't maybe have like cell phones and stuff, and yeah, but maybe then we would have priorities, and we'd be doing the right fucking thing, and things would be better off for everyone. Maybe it would be for the people, by the people, if we truly stuck to it. I mean, that's a whole nother ball of wax. And there's a lot of other steps I didn't rattle off, so I do appreciate that too. Back on point. None of this infrastructure is in place to benefit us, is what I'm trying to say in here. But those kids I was talking about earlier, that don't have a fucking clue, they'll argue otherwise, typically speaking. They'll assume otherwise. They'll buy into things instead of looking into them. And that's why all of you are here watching a video of Will Smith and Barbara Walters. And so it goes. This is what the internet's full of. This is what the algorithm will promote. I've not clicked on this account. I imagine they have thousands upon thousands of people following them, especially since they have nearly 9,000 little heart sigils clicked. And since 5,000 plus people have shared it, they most likely have thousands of people because they're not censored. And it checks out. They're also promoting starseed shit, which is nonsense in a big fucking way. It's part of the new age garbage in place to pave the way for a one world religion. People don't understand that shit, which is why they buy into it and they repeat it. The other bit, the little JPEG on there says truth. I've said this a lot because supposedly there's a thing called the truth community. I usually refer to it as a circle jerk because all they do is repeat what our masters leave online and they don't realize it because they're fucking stupid. So something that would have come up a long time ago and thrown a wrench into the fucking truth community is if they looked into the etymology, since most of them post, what is his name? Russell Pine videos, you know, Jordan Maxwell. They recirculate that controlled opposition assets bullshit. But they didn't take the time to look into why the truth community was branded the truth community. Truth is the daughter of Saturn L, Satan L, motherfucking Earth. And none of them know that. None of them. I've had so many, well, I mean, I haven't talked to everybody, but I've talked to a lot of fucking dipshits online. They cry themselves to sleep. They try to argue about a bunch of other garbage, but they don't take the fucking time. This is why I said people buy into things, they won't look into them. They'll assume otherwise. I'm speaking about things based on experience. I've been dealing with a lot of fucking Muppets for over 10 years. Most people don't buckle down and focus. They don't take a moment and challenge themselves to realize what I'm talking about holds water in stark contrast to what people are circulating and why it's being circulated on the World Wide Web, the DARPA internet. What the fuck do I know?